Monroe quick strut replacement for a 2010 Chrysler Town & Country. There it is. Quick strut. Right there. And so I'll be installing that. First things first, I'm going to zip this tire off with this wonderful Milwaukee corded impact wrench. It's a 1/2 inch, and you use 19mm deep sockets that go with an impact wrench to get this off. So we got the tire off. Next, you're going to use an 18mm and remove the sway bar link. Nut right there, and yes, I'm removing a quick strut to put a quick strut on because this one failed. They sent me a bad one. On the back here, you're gonna have to take this little nut off, and it's a 10mm, and I'll check back in with you in a moment after I've done those two, as well as these two 21mm right here. Impact wrench will help you with that. That's about that for now. Next, you put the nut on just a little bit and you give it a good whack with this wonderful 5-pound sledge, 3-pound sledge. But it does the trick to unseat these bolts. Next, I'm going to go to the mounting bolts and remove them. Oh, what does help for this process as well is not only having a primary jack with a jack stand for your vehicle, but then for the assembly, for the knuckle, the steering knuckle itself, not the steering knuckle, but the that knuckle, the hub knuckle, that everything is mounted to. Oh, that's what this part is, excuse me. Use a jack, a small jack just underneath to support it. Gets a little bit of the weight off and you can pop these out a lot easier. Next, we're going to remove these mounting bolts up top with a 13mm. Really simply put, we're going to take off all these nuts, and then we're going to leave one just hanging, and we'll let it dangle there while we remove it from underneath. Okay, so we got our shock, and it's now free from the knuckle, and it's dangling by that one nut on top. So I'll go up and unscrew that, hold it with one hand, unscrew it with the other, and then pull it right out. I don't know exactly what the difference is between these two, but I'm really hoping this new one's gonna take the clunk out of the strut. So here's what we're gonna do. We've got our new strut, and it's gonna go up here into those 3 holes, and you have to have a friend up here to screw the nuts on. So we're gonna do that real quick. I'll lift it while a second person puts the nuts on. And there we go. We now have this screwed on. So I'm going to torque these to spec. I believe it's 24 foot-pounds, and we'll see where we're at. Correction, tighten to 21 foot-pounds. And we're flush all the way around, so it is correctly seated. And now we're going to connect up the steering knuckle to our strut. Here we go. Okay, so I got these bolts back in, and I got it to be about as close as I could to the other alignment, just in the situating of where the bolts are and how the strut is situated. And I'm just putting things back together. I got my 10mm here, and I'll put this link back on, the 18mm, tighten that to spec. That's 65 foot-pounds. This is like hardly anything, just hand tighten that. And these are 65 foot-pounds as well. Then I'm gonna put it all back together, and we're all set.